Hey there! Welcome to the Distracted Librarians podcast. We're your friendly neighborhood bookworms with a penchant for all things pop culture.
Picture this as our digital campfire, where we dive into our latest obsessions, analyze our favorite distractions, and rediscover the joy of reading.
Whether you're a media enthusiast, a book lover, or just need a break from the daily grind, you've come to the right spot.
So kick back, relax, and get delightfully distracted with us.
Hey everybody! On this episode of the Distracted Librarians, we are going to talk about reality TV. Oh my goodness. I'm Nicole.
I'm Drew.
I'm Killian.
I'm Amanda.
All right, reality TV.
Yes, this is very much my baby.
There's the title of the episode right there.
Crushed it. So reality TV in general is, unscripted entertainment with non-celebrities, just real life people, put in situations to get all kinds of weird, interesting responses out of them. What's everyone's background in reality TV?
I've watched a little bit. When Survivor first came out, I watched the first few seasons. Prepping for this episode opened my eyes to other reality TV that I hadn't considered reality TV. And then I went, oh, I guess it is. So that's been a whole thing. And then, Drew, I've watched a lot of reality TV because of you. So.
That tracks.
Nice.
I didn't think I watched a lot of reality TV, and then I started listing things, and I was like, well, actually, Project Runway, I have watched every single season except maybe like the last two when I feel like it really took a dive. Top Chef, Queer Eye. I love Tan France so much.
I do too.
Would marry him.
His hair,
yes,
is just glorious.
Oh, his accent.
Anyway,
Alone, really like Alone.
I'm not familiar with that one.
People are dropped. So it's like a survival.
It's not like Naked and Alone, right?
It's not like
No.
Naked and Alone. I think
Okay.
that's more gimmicky for sure.
Okay.
These are like real survivalists that they take to a completely backcountry location. So like Alaska.
Okay.
And they have to create a dwelling, and then they have to feed themselves, and they just have to survive. And whoever lasts the longest wins. But they do have safety checks where they weigh them. So if you're someone who's just like starving yourselves and you are good at starving, they will pull you.
If you're good at starving.
If they're like
Skill.
your vitals are bad and you've lost this amount of weight and you are in danger, or you are in danger, they will pull you.
Okay.
So the thing is, like, you have to really survive. You have to be feeding yourself.
You have to be thriving.
Yes.
In whatever. Okay.
So love that. And then what I recently discovered, Suddenly Amish.
Yes.
And that is, I'll be very brief on this because I think it's so interesting. And if anyone wants to do an episode about Suddenly Amish.
Well, I'll have to watch the show and then we can talk.
Yeah. Since the Amish are a closed community, their numbers are dwindling. So they're like, how do we repopulate this? We will open it up to the English, as they call the non-Amish, and see if they can sort of assimilate to being Amish.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
that I could say so much, but I'll stop there.
I love the subculture-y stuff. I think that's all. It's so intriguing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And what are some of your experiences with?
So reality TV, being a product of the 80s, we have Cops, which was just a delight.
good.
That song would come
So
on
good.
and I'd be running around the living room because, it was like, growing up in white suburbia, I was like, I don't know anything about, the city at all or anything about any other type of person besides people that look just like me. So it was like kind of great. And then
I don't know if Cops is a good introduction.
It is not. It is truly not. However, like, just, I'm always interested in the human experience, you know, and so to learn that, you know, there are all kinds in the world. So Cops was something that, you know, I don't even know if my parents wanted me to watch it, but it was something that happened from time to time. Also MTV. Oh my gosh, MTV.
Yes.
Just the best. And I still have very fond memories. I wish there was something like that. Not necessarily the reality TV, but just the, you know, the music videos all day long would be fantastic.
I love the, like, early 2000s terrible MTV reality shows, the, like, Room Raiders and Next and Date My Mom.
Oh,
The nonsense.
really?
Yes.
Date My Mom.
Oh, it was a treat.
Oh my gosh.
It was a gift to a young 12-year-old.
I guess. So, like, nowadays, I don't watch a lot of reality TV, but I do enjoy a good competition show. So, you know, like the baking shows, anything that's fashion or makeup related. Like, I love all of the prosthetics and all of that cool stuff. So anything artistic I get really into.
And see, that's where I really started without realizing it was reality TV, was a lot of the like TLC's While You Were Out and Trading Spaces. My mom watched a lot of those, so I watched those with her.
Okay.
I had a whole Food Network competition, like cooking competition era with Iron Chef America, into Chopped, and I can't remember the other one. The one where Alton Brown hosted it. And
Oh,
there
I
was,
love Alton
Brown.
Brown.
Thank you.
He's like the best. Yeah.
So like those, I had this whole like very long period of time where I watched so much Food Network. And that was it for a while. And then someone was watching RuPaul's Drag Race in our living room at one point. And now I've seen so much RuPaul's Drag Race.
Who could that possibly be?
I don't know.
No, if I am in my home and I'm not reading a book, there is a reality TV show on.
Okay.
I started way back, first season of Survivor, like 10 years old with my parents. Have not missed an episode since. I rewatch them constantly. I'm in the middle of season 15 in my cycle right now. And when I catch up to the end, I start back at the beginning.
Wow. How
Wow.
many times have you cycled through?
Yes.
No way to know.
You know, it started with just the first like 4 seasons because I had them on DVD growing up. Back when they used to put them on DVD before they stopped doing that. But ever since they showed up on streaming services, it's been a constant cycle of either that or Drag Race or, you know, Amazing Race, Big Brother, Traitors, House of Villains. I'm there. I'm anywhere that you can give me idiots being messy. I'm in.
And here's the thing with Drew, is he will not like push reality TV on anyone, but if you start watching it, he then wants to know exactly what you're thinking the whole time.
Oh, okay.
He had watched The Circle, and then he was out of town, and I decided I was going to watch The Circle. And then I was like, not on Twitter, obviously, but like live tweeting my reactions via Messenger to Drew about this whole show because I knew he had watched it.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anyone else who had watched it. I was like, I need to yell into the void, so my messages with Drew are the void today.
Yeah, reality TV is also a large part of my social circle. For many, many years, it's something that I only sort of stopped 2 years ago. I was pretty deeply embedded in online reality gaming. So hosting and running your own seasons of Survivor and casting people for it, playing them on Discord or Skype or Zoom or Twitter.
Which
Wow.
is fascinating
Yeah.
to like see from the outside.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a whole thing where you spend a good month playing.
Is it like fantasy football or something?
Are you role playing? I don't get it.
No, you're
Okay.
just playing a Survivor season.
Okay.
You know, you get challenges, you get tribal councils, you get your groups that you talk to, and you strategize with each other and boot people off the Discord server.
Wow.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Cool.
Crazy. Yeah.
The number of
great
times
time.
we were running through our house trying to find things for scavenger hunts for these games.
Was there ever money involved?
Couple of times.
Okay, nice.
Oh my goodness.
There was one game. It was one of the ones that you saw the final tribal for. Was a friend that I'd made in it wanted to run a game just for his social circle. He was a huge theater kid in college and thought they'd all get a kick out of it. And not enough people were interested, so he grabbed like 2 of us that he knew from games and just threw us in with them. And so I spent a month pitting them against each other.
Oh my goodness.
And figuring out like where their groups were and then playing them off against each other.
It's a little terrifying to watch your best friend do this, like, and be able to be so good at it. It's a little scary.
So
I'm glad we're friends.
If you could be on any reality show, what would you be on?
Oh God, Traders.
Okay.
I think the Traders would be an amazing time.
And what is the deal with that? Because I have no idea.
So the Traders, they take you to a castle in Scotland.
Okay.
Have you ever played Mafia or Werewolf?
No.
Okay. So you get a group of, say, 20 people.
Okay.
And you go around, the host will choose somewhere between 3 and 5 people and secretly tap them.
They're like the bad guys.
Yes.
It's like Among Us that little
Yes.
kids
Yes.
play. Okay.
Yeah,
now
exactly.
I get it. Absolutely. I've watched the Girl Scouts do this many times.
This is the first time I have ever heard someone go from Werewolf and Mafia to going, oh, like Among Us, and not Among Us hearing the description, oh, like Werewolf, or oh, like Mafia. Like, that is the first time I've ever heard that backward, and that was wild.
So yeah, what do we think that people's like core fascination is with reality TV in general? What do we get out of it?
I mean, maybe it's just like I knew a person who used to come into the bookstore I worked for that only wanted like the most depressing, sad memoirs that you could possibly find about people whose lives were just so wrecked. And I think that basically how they explained why to me explains a lot. And it is just, I want to know that there are people out there that's lives are way more way worse than mine.
Yeah.
And there's like this kind of fascination watching people fall apart. I don't know if that's
like gawking at a car wreck.
Yeah, I mean, and I think with reality TV, it's not necessarily like sad. It's just like, oh my God, what are they doing? What
I
is
think
happening
it also,
here?
like, can be reassuring of, like, oh, there are worse people out there than me.
Yeah, or it's just shockingly stupid
Yes.
and doing really dumb things.
Like-
Yeah, I used to like watching Jersey Shore just for that because I was like, wow, this is special.
It's like America's Funniest Home Videos, the ones where it's just like
People falling over and
people
over again.
falling, yeah, like stepping on the rake and having it hit you in the face type of a
Yes.
thing. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
I don't know. It is a little sick.
It is. But there are some people that will laugh at that every single time.
Yeah.
You know?
That's also a lot of what the Real Housewives fascination is watching these rich elite women
Put their foot in their mouth.
put their foot in their mouth and make all kinds of weird social faux pas that are only social faux pas in their little world.
I also think, especially when it comes to Housewives and some of the other reality TV series, it's also aspirational. It's like, I also want to be that person. I also want to be a Kardashian. I also want to be like, I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of them are like the specifically American desire to be famous and fascination with celebrity.
Yes.
It's like,
Sure.
oh, that normal person is now famous, and I could also be famous.
Yeah.
And it is such a fun way to get the normal people of America to come together. You know, I love the first episode of a new season where you meet the new cast, and it is, you know, a rancher and a San Francisco barista and a Wall Street banker, and
Totally.
and seeing these people that never would have interacted have to build this trust so quickly and rely on each other and lie to each other. Oh, it's a blast.
You totally reminded me of another show that I loved, Celebrity Rehab.
Yes.
Because in some cases, it's like, you know, you've got the washed up actor who's coming down off of meth, and then you've got, whatever that child star, like, whatever child star you could think of,
Right.
also coming down off of something else, and suddenly they're best friends because they're in a room together and cleaning up each other's vomit. That kind of stuff. So.
Yeah.
I really like botched plastic surgery. I get really excited about surgery.
Okay.
Plastic surgery stuff. Is that weird?
Oh, well, I think it's just illustrating your point.
Oh, yeah. And also the fact that I love horror, I think it's all thrown in there somewhere.
Yeah.
There's also the whole, like, water cooler moment of it all. Like, I obviously wasn't an adult working when the first season of Survivor finished, but looking back on the retrospectives of it all, because it's been on for 25 years now.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, season 50 is happening right now.
So 2 a year.
Pretty much 2 a year, yeah.
Nice. Wow.
Yep, they took 1 year off for COVID. Mm-hmm. But other than that, yeah, it's been trucking along. and you start to see how it becomes almost its own ecosystem, because people will come in seeing how the previous game was played and not wanting to fall into the same traps, so they overcorrect. And, like, it's cyclical.
And you see that on all of the shows. Because you and I talk about this with Drag Race all the time.
Yeah.
Where it's like, how are people still coming into this not knowing how to sew?
Oh, my gosh. Not knowing how to sew.
Not knowing
Trying
how
to
sew,
duct
or
tape
not
things
having
together.
a plan for how to put something together if you can't sew.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are some of the, like, criticisms of the genre? Because there are many.
Well, very exploitive.
Yes.
America's Next Top Model.
Oh, my goodness.
Both
I had
of
no...
those documentaries just came out.
I saw one of them.
About, like, what was going on in the background. Yeah.
Well, I had watched some of it live, but it was sort of pre having a bunch of streaming services and ways to, like, rewatch. So I saw a spattering, and even in my sort of somewhat aware, but definitely not to the level I am now, and definitely society was not aware as a collective. But just the most obvious thing is these contestants were being starved.
Oh, yeah.
They were being starved. It was very unsafe conditions. So that, I mean, but there's many other things that they call out on the documentary about it. And there's a podcast about it. And there's a lot of people who, as they say in the documentary that I watched, which I don't remember, is that during COVID and during lockdown, a lot of these older reality TV shows had resurgences. People were watching them maybe for the first time with our now collective awareness and being like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And yeah.
No, I remember when COVID first started and Netflix picked up 2 of the most popular seasons of Survivor. And they only took 2 of them, and suddenly those were these, like, massive cultural talking points on modern day social media. And I'm sitting here like, I lived this in 2008. Where were you?
Yeah.
I can talk about that. I can talk about this until the cows come home. But it was so interesting seeing people absorb it for the first time, not in that lens, because I can see all of that through a greater sense of nostalgia that others obviously wouldn't have, and how that colored different opinions of things. Fascinating.
Well,
Yeah.
you and I have talked a lot about with Drag Race, because I came in at All Stars 3.
Okay.
So there was a lot of Drag Race that happened before I ever saw Drag Race.
Yeah.
And then we watched that, and then we started watching the seasons. And so Drew, who had seen them before, then got to watch me watch all of this for the first time and have all of the emotions about it and all of the reactions to it. And then was able to fill me in on, like, some of the, things that happened as that was actually coming out live, which is really interesting. I actually really enjoyed getting to see the current and, like, the looking back on it all at the same time. That was a really fascinating experience that now with new seasons, I don't get because no one's seen it before. But I think, yeah, looking at some of those older seasons, even the way things change for better or for worse is really interesting. Because it's also the way that those function, and I'm assuming it's the same with most of these shows because I haven't seen a lot of them over so many seasons. So, but like Drew was saying, in season 25 of Survivor, they had 24 previous seasons to look back on.
Yeah.
People knew what to expect.
Well, they're like taking notes,
Whereas,
probably.
like,
It's almost
season
like
1
watching football or something. And
on season 1, they don't know what to expect.
yeah, no idea.
And so the way that adapts and the way that the storytelling and the editing all changes and kind of evolves.
Well, the editing is crazy with it all too, because you were talking producer manipulation while they're there and the things that they put them through. But there's also the fact that every 3 days of what they spend on the show across everyone's perspectives and interviews and 30 cameras capturing everything is reduced down to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the producers have a strong hand in the story that they tell and the role that they cast you in.
Yeah. I mean, and what you had used as a definition of reality TV is that it's unscripted. I mean, can we question whether it's completely unscripted? I mean,
you're right.
it's almost like playing God in a way. I feel like sometimes people are manipulated into doing certain things just for the excitement of it all.
Well, and I know some of the agreements for being on these, like, there's no guarantee that what you say is going to be given the context that from which
Sure.
how you said it.
Or-
something you said like here could be edited in later and make you look a lot different than with that context.
Sure.
Is it common for someone to ask you a question and you to, or you, not you, but a contestant to answer it, and then in reality they like will ask a question and then show something totally different?
Oh, yeah.
Are they that? Okay.
Yeah.
There's a whole term in the industry called a Frankenbite,
Oh.
where they'll take things from 2 separate interviews and piece a sentence together
Wow.
to make it say something that you truly never said, even context free. You just never said it.
There's a reason confession outfits are the same throughout the whole season.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's spooky.
watching, like, that's another thing of watching some of these with Drew. Like, Drew has watched a lot of reality TV.
He knows the deal.
Drew can see the edit coming.
Yeah.
And, like, I can sometimes with Drag Race, but not as much with everything else. Drew sees everything a mile ahead.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is...
Well, I have to ask though, when there are so many seasons, is it still good
Oh yeah,
Like-
absolutely.
and totally just necessary? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know of any other way of saying it, because I'm sure there are reality shows that had 3 seasons. Dunzo, everything's fine and well, nobody cares. But then for another show to make it that far and still be relevant.
Well, the thing about reality TV is that it all hinges on the cast. You can have the most boring copy cutter season that is made fascinating by the people playing it. And you can have the most well-crafted, interesting, collaborative game ruined by people who aren't going to play it.
Sure.
So the cast is what keeps me coming back every time. Survivor as a template, Big Brother as a template, etc. They keep trying to find new things to put into it, but there's only so much they can put in and still be what they are.
Yeah.
It's the players that make it the
Okay.
interesting thing, and what this person is going to do in this situation is very different from what this person 3 seasons later is going to do. And is this person 3 seasons later informed by that first person and seeing how it went for them?
Yeah.
And,
Interesting.
yeah.
Do you, with the sort of exploitation and the Frankenbites, and there's just been so many people who have said, I never should have gone on that show.
Sure.
It ruined my career. It was traumatic. It was damaging, etc. Why do you think people still sign up to be on these shows?
I think what you said about exposure and
Okay.
about the chance to become a
Oh,
star.
to be famous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if bad attention is still attention.
Yeah.
True.
Right?
Yep.
In some cases, like people have made their entire lives off of being on a reality show and being that person that everyone hated or whatever.
And I think for the most part, do people go in going, I'm going in to be the villain that everyone's going to hate later? Some of them, sure.
Yeah.
Everybody, no.
And they might just end up
But
being that
yeah.
person.
It's you. I don't think everyone expects the outcome to be like they expect they're going to be the good outcome. They're going to get what they want out of it, and it's the reality is, are you? Depends on who you're with. Depends on what you're going through.
I feel like people are gullible. Like,
yeah.
it's just gullible that, like, you think you're going to rise up to the top and be the winner. That I just, part of me.
To have that
Is
level
that-
of confidence, though.
yeah.
Like,
Oh my
I don't
gosh.
know. I watch some people come on these shows and like, I'm totally going to go all the way. And from the beginning, I'm going, are you? Mm-hmm. I would love like confidence delusion. Where's the line?
yeah.
So does anyone have any favorite moments in reality TV history that they touch back on? / can I tell mine?
Yes, please do.
Please do.
Okay, so this is Celebrity Big Brother UK
Okay.
in, I want to say, 2018. Big Brother is this completely different experience where you're watching it live with them. It's the only show that isn't edited ahead of time. So you get the live feeds as they're happening. And there was this one moment where the three people that are relevant to the story are Tiffany New York Pollard, Angie Bowie, David Bowie's ex-wife,
Okay.
and David Guest, who's a UK comedian. While they were filming that, David Bowie passed away.
Oh.
And when like major life events happen for the players, they take them to the side and let them know. And so Angie was told that David had passed away. She comes out of the room, she's all emotional about it, and Tiffany is the one who finds her and is like, "Oh, what's wrong?" And she's like, "Well, David is dead." And Tiffany, not really processing who Angie is as a person, is like, "Oh, there's a contestant this season named David. He died?" And she runs through the house freaking out. Like, "Oh, I can't keep this secret. I can't do it. David is dead." And like runs to every other player. And they come back in like frantically looking for this man who is taking a nap.
Oh my
Happily in his bed. It turns into this whole thing where Angie is mad that her private life is being leaked to the rest of the group.
It's insensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David, no one really realized that this was going to be a big moment until they got out of the house. And David, upon realizing it, starts to put on a David Guest is Alive and Well tour to capitalize on it. And then something like a month before the tour launches, he does pass away.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
It's-
this is good TV.
It's insane. And it's such a cross section of like what happens in the show, and it had to be on this specific show because they couldn't edit it.
Yeah.
They had everyone experienced it as is. There are Twitter clips of the live feed cameras from every angle of it. It's fascinating.
Wow.
I mean, yeah.
That is wild. I don't even know. I'm like sort of speechless.
Speechless. It's like, have you no shame, but also, wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That is just unbelievable. All right. Well,
yeah.
so you as listeners, let us know how you feel about reality TV. We would love to hear some of your tasty tidbits since we had plenty. Oh my goodness, that was crazy.
I will happily banter with you in the emails.
Yes. It almost sounds like we might need another episode. I don't know.
Sign me up.
But until then, thanks for listening, and we will see you next time. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Distracted Librarians.
Many thanks to BCTV for their support in recording, editing, and releasing this podcast, and to the Friends of the Library for sponsoring closed captioning on every episode.
If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to reach out to us at distracted@btpl.org.
Until then, keep those pages turning and those screens lighting up. We'll catch you in the next episode.
The views and opinions expressed in the Distracted Librarians podcast do not necessarily reflect those of Bloomfield Township Public Library, Bloomfield Community Television, the Birmingham Area Cable Board, or its producers or production staff.